A very lovely morning to all my dear viewers. It indeed is a beautiful morning, and it's my great pleasure to be here in front of you narrating a story. Hello, I am Vineeta, and I'm here today with yet another story from Toast to Tale presented by Vishwajyot High School. So I hope all my children are fresh and ready for this story. Are you all ready? Yay! Let's start. It was a beautiful summer. David was happy because his sister was out camping the entire summer. He had the room for himself, and oh, how can we forget? He had his basketball lawn all for himself. He called his best friend Andy to play on the lawn all day long. Hey Andy, pass the ball to me. Sure, David. Here, take it and shoot. It was really fun for David until one day he had a boy whose name was Jerry shift in his neighborhood. David did not like him at all. And you know why? Because Jerry didn't invite David over his trampoline party. Yes, you heard me right. Jerry had a trampoline in his backyard. What fun, right? David was mad at him. Jerry even made fun of David during his basketball game. Ha ha ha, David, you can't even dribble nicely. I guess I should come there and teach you. No way, I can play much better. David was so mad at Jerry. How can he speak to me in this manner? I just hate him. I guess now I understand what an enemy is. I'm sure Dad had enemies too. And now I know what an enemy actually means. He is my one and only enemy in my list right now. I never had an enemy before. But now, when he is here, I guess I need one. I will stick his name in my tree house. Jerry is not allowed in my tree house. Biggest enemy. David angrily went inside his house and slammed the door. Dad was quite shocked looking at his behavior. He asked him, Son, what is wrong with you? Why are you so upset? I hate Jerry. He is my biggest enemy. Dad stood there watching and smiled at him. David was confused. He thought to himself, what is wrong with him? Why is he smiling? To which Dad said, Son, when I was your age, I had enemies too. But I know a very good way to get rid of it. And Dad winks at David. What? Really? Please tell me how. The secret of getting rid of enemies is, come closer, the enemy pie. An enemy pie? What's this? This sounds really exciting. Yes, it sure does. Let me make this pie for you and then you can give it to Jerry. David was super confused. What could be there in this pie? He kept on talking to himself. A lot of ideas started pouring into his head. Can you guess what that idea is? Come on, children, send me in the chat box. What do you think the ideas can be? David thought he could give his dad worms to put in the pie. But nah, Dad didn't want it. Then he gave his chewing gum that he had been chewing since morning. Again, Dad told him to leave the kitchen. David went out of the kitchen as he was of no help and went in his basketball lawn, just wondering what that pie could be. He tried some shots in the basketball ring, but alas, he failed. He even tried to play with the boomerang, but it went right across the roof. Suddenly, he smelled something really good. David was confused. The enemy pie shouldn't smell so delicious. To which Dad smartly replied, if the enemy pie would be so bad, then your enemy would never eat it. David saw Dad wear his mittens and remove the delicious looking pie from the oven. It looked really yummy. But David still wasn't sure how this enemy pie would work. David had his brain work with thoughts. David thought to himself, what would this pie do to my enemy? Maybe their breath would smell. Or oh, their hair would fall. Or maybe it would make the bullies cry. Dad didn't tell David anything, but he gave him a job to do. Do you know what job did Dad give him? I'll tell you. There is one part of the enemy pie that I can't do. And in order for it to work, you have to spend 1 day with your enemy. Even worse, you have to be nice to him. It's not easy, but that's the only way that enemy pie can work. Are you sure you want to go through this? Of course I can. It's totally worth it. I will do as you say. I just have to spend 1 day, right? Then he's out of my hair forever. David rode his bike, vroom, to Jerry's house and knocked on the door. Knock, knock. Jerry opened the door and looked quite surprised. He was waiting on the other side of the door, waiting for David to say something. Can you come out and play with me? Jerry looked confused, but he went inside to ask his mom. After a few minutes, he was out, wearing shoes and ready to go. Even Jerry's mom said hello to David. David felt quite happy. David and Jerry rode their bikes for a while. They even played on the trampoline. They made some water balloons and threw them in the neighborhood. They were having such a blast. Jerry's mom made them lunch, and after lunch, they came back to David's house. David was thinking to himself, I'm having fun with Jerry. He's fun to be around. He was really good to me. But of course, I can't tell Dad this. He took hours to make this enemy pie. Jerry liked the basketball loop in David's house. He really wished he had one. So just to be nice, David let him play and also let him win. Jerry knew how to throw a boomerang. He threw it and it came right back to him. But David's, it went right across the fence. As the two went to get back the boomerang, Jerry saw David's tree house. David was talking to himself. My tree house is my tree house. I am the boss. If my sister wants it, I don't let her in. If my dad wants it, not allowed. And now Jerry wanted in. Can I come in your tree house? Jerry was super confused. How could he let his enemy go inside the tree house? And enemies are not allowed inside the tree house. Children, do you think he will let Jerry in? Come on, give me your answers in the chat box. After a lot of thinking, David decided to let him in. As they had so much fun, right? And Jerry was nice to him the entire time. Hold on, wait here. I will call you. David ran and went upstairs and removed the sticker from the treehouse. He shouldn't be seeing the name, right? David and Jerry enjoyed their time together, and after a lot of playing, Dad called them for dinner. Initially, they acted like they didn't hear what Dad said because they were having a lot of fun. But then Dad came and found them. And do you know what Dad made for dinner? Can you all guess? He made yummy macaroni and cheese for dinner, their favorite. Do you love cheese and macaroni? David was thinking to himself, maybe Jerry isn't bad at all. I should actually let go of the enemy pie. But then Dad entered, and he entered with the pie. He cut the pie into 8 thick pieces. David tried to stop Dad. Dad, it sure is nice having a new friend in the neighborhood. David was trying really hard to get his dad's attention and trying to tell him that Jerry was no longer his enemy. But Dad only smiled and nodded. I guess Dad thought that David was pretending. Dad slowly dished up 3 plates side by side with big pieces of pie and a giant scoop of ice cream. He first passed it on to David and then to Jerry. Wow, yummy! My dad never makes pie like these. David was panicking. He didn't want Jerry to eat the enemy pie. He is my friend. I can never let him eat this. Jerry, stop! Don't eat it. It's a bad boy. I think it's poisonous or something. Jerry's fork stopped reaching his mouth. He looked at David funnily. David felt relieved. He thought he saved his life. He definitely felt like a hero. If it's so bad, then why is your dad eaten half of it already? David turned to look at his dad, and what did he see? Dad was surely eating the enemy pie. Good stuff. David sat there watching his dad eat the pie for few seconds. Dad was laughing. Jerry was happily eating, and neither of them were losing any hair. It seemed safe enough for David, so he took a tiny taste. This looks delicious. After dessert, Jerry rode his bike home, but not before inviting David over to plan on his trampoline in the morning. Jerry said he would teach David how to flip. David still doesn't know how to make an enemy pie. He still didn't know if enemies hated it or if their hair fell out of their head or their breath turned bad. But David sure knew that he just lost his best enemy. Isn't this such a lovely story? Did you all like it? Can you all put a yes in the chat box if you enjoyed listening to this story? Such a sweet story that gives us a message on always being kind, helping others, and giving others a chance before taking them wrong. Now, I definitely have an assignment for you, and I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun doing this. We all have learned a little something that a pie can do, right? This time, I want you to make a pie taking help of your parents and sharing it with your best friend. Take down your pen and your notebook and write everything you felt being with your true companion or your true best friend. I'm sure you all are going to have lots of fun doing this activity. Thank you all my dear viewers for attending the storytelling session. I'm sure you enjoyed this and will be looking forward to our next session. Till then, enjoy your pie with your friend and wait up for our next story. Have a happy weekend all of you. Take care, be safe, wash your hands and always wear a mask. Lastly, please like and share this video. Also subscribe to our channel. Until next time, goodbye.